Today, we are going to try freeze drying some of this deli turkey breast. Hi, I'm Kylene and I'm the Provident Prepper. Today, I am going to try freeze drying some of this deli turkey breast because we went on a little trip and we passed a turkey outlet and they sell these for about $1.25 a pound. And if I were to buy this in the market, I'd be looking at $7, $8, $9 a pound. And there's no waste on this, but this one was 97% fat-free. I didn't get any of the cheaper versions because I was a little bit worried about them having too much fat, because remember, the lower the fat, the better the meat will freeze dry, the longer it will store. I'm going to cut this into little cubes and we'll freeze dry it that way. Sometimes just adding a little bit of meat to a casserole or a soup can make all the difference in flavor and add just a little bit of that extra nutrition that you might be looking for. We also purchased a few more of these that we will try in different ways. So let's get cutting this up. And we purchased it frozen, so I let it defrost overnight. And so this is going to still be partially frozen when we cube it. Okay, quick and easy prep. All I had to do was cut this up. It was still semi-frozen, so that made it really easy. Now, each one of those turkey roasts or turkey breasts is between 8 and 9 pounds. And since it takes 10 pounds of hamburger to fill up all these trays, I thought one of them would probably be just about the right amount to fill up all of these trays and have it freeze dry well. My goal is to have most of these cubes of turkey a very similar size so that they will all freeze dry really evenly. And then it looks like that is just about the right amount. That 8 or 9 pound turkey is going to fill up these trays just really nicely. All right, the 4 trays are done. They look really good. Time to stick them in the freeze dryer.
This is turkey chunks. This took 1,632 minutes, or just a little more than a day to do, and it consumed about 16 kilowatt hours. So the turkey chunks are done, and you can see that they are very dried out. They're ready to go. Let's package them.
Okay, we just took the turkey chunks out of the freeze dryer. They're really nice and dry. They look beautiful. There's not much grease on the tray at all, which means they're low fat, which means they'll store longer. Okay, it's pretty dry, but it actually tastes super good,
really good flavor, excellent flavor.
So we'll smoke turkey breast and the flavoring is like intensified. So it's really good. Do you want to pour some water on that? We've got a few pieces in there, and we'll try those in a minute. But this is really good.
It is very tasty.
So we're just going to package it up for long-term storage, put an oxygen absorber in the bag, and we'll be right back. There's an oxygen absorber in this bag, and I'm going to seal the Mylar bag with an impulse sealer to make sure that we've got a nice, good seal. The Ziploc seal would never be a good enough seal to manage it for long-term storage, and it looks good. Okay, so now it's time to dig in and taste the Rehydrated smoked turkey breast.
I think another one's in order.
The flavor is really good.
It is really good.
And the texture, it's really similar. Maybe a little, I don't want to say tougher. Tougher's not the right word. Maybe just a little bit, and maybe it just needed to be rehydrated a little bit more, but it seems, when we first did this, it's super easy to chew. This takes a little bit more work. You ate them all.
Of course. You're busy talking, I'm gonna eat.
Okay, this can be forgiven. Perfect. I think this actually is a very good candidate for long-term storage. When we looked at the pan, there was very little oil, so it's a nice low-fat meat. that should store for at least 10 years, I would guess, if not a lot longer, in our long-term food supply.
Absolutely. So we ended up with basically 5 quarts, a quart here and 4 more bags here. So 5 quarts. I did the math on the 9-pound roast that we got at $1.25 at an outlet store.
Which is a killer price, because normally that would be like between $7 and $9 when you go to your local deli. So it was a killer price.
It was a good price. And including the power and the containers and the oxygen absorbers, we figured about $3.50 per bag, which is a great, great deal. We haven't been able to find turkey chunks out there on the market, freeze-dried. But chicken chunks would be about $20 for that bag. And we put together the whole thing for around $3.50. So really a good bargain.
Yeah, and it doesn't include our labor, right? We have to work hard to make this happen, right. But we're used to working hard to make things happen. And this is something we never would have been able to have if we just relied on what was available on the commercial market for food storage. Now, one of the things that we always like to do is to take some of this and really use it. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy this. One of Jonathan's very favorite meals is just gravy over rice. So we're gonna take some of this smoked turkey breast, rehydrate it, and make a gravy and serve it over white rice. Everything's shelf stable, and we'll see what he thinks when it's all done.
Oh, I think it's going to be quite good.
Okay, chicken gravy or turkey gravy is a super simple process. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use some olive oil instead of butter, just because it's shelf stable. Normally, butter would greatly enhance this recipe. A little bit of flour, I'm gonna use white. You could use just freshly ground whole wheat. I have my rehydrated diced smoked turkey breast. This is some stock, and I make my own stock. In fact, we've freeze-dried it, and so you could take freeze-dried stock, reconstitute it. You could use canned stock, you could use drippings from a turkey, you could use whatever it is that you want. And if you don't have enough, you can just add water to equal about 2.5 cups. I've harvested some fresh parsley from my indoor garden, and then we have a little bit of thyme, a half a teaspoon of thyme, because thyme's kind of really powerful. If you use fresh thyme, you're gonna want a lot more. And then we're gonna pepper and salt it to taste. The rice is all cooked and ready to go. So we're gonna combine these and make this gravy really quick. Okay, normally you would use butter, but I'm using olive oil just to demonstrate that you can use just shelf-stable ingredients to be able to create this. I'm gonna put it in the pan, and I'm going to whisk the flour in slowly and let it cook. I'm gonna let this cook until it's nice and bubbly. After I've got that flour all incorporated, I'm just gonna add this thyme so that we have plenty of time for the flavors to become incorporated. And I wanna brown this for about 1 minute. So I'm watching for it to get a little bit bubbly. This step's really important so that it doesn't taste like flour. Once it gets to this point and it looks like it's all blended in really well, I'm going to add the rehydrated turkey. Once it's simmered for a little while, add the parsley, salt to taste, and pepper to taste.
Thank you.
All right, so now the true test of any food, right, is to see whether or not it can make my Johnny happy. So we just have cooked rice, and then we have the gravy. You can make the gravy thicker or thinner, depending on how you prefer it. So let's see. It's hot.
Great.
So I guess the main question we want to ask
Very
is,
good.
does this taste like starvation rations?
Oh, no.
I think that the smoked turkey breast was a huge success. The price was right. It was super easy to do all the work that it takes to be able to put it in the freeze dryer and package it up. So in both of those respects, it was very much ideal. The finished product looks delicious. I
It's
haven't tried it
amazing.
yet.
Extremely good.
Good. And so yeah, I think that's a good thing that we can freeze dry. And now for the question of the day. What's your favorite recipe for a chicken or turkey gravy? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.